Hey there, how's it going? It's Kat. Welcome to today's video. In today's video, we are going to talk about the book See-Through by Brittany Taylor. I can go on record right now, Brittany, this was my favorite book of yours, 100%. I have read all of Brittany's books. I've done videos on some of them. Some of them were before I had my channel. Some of them have been in the past year, so I've done videos on them. I will include them in the comment section below if you would like to check those out. So let's talk about See-Through. See-Through is a rock star romance. Something that I really like about Brittany's books is, and I don't want this to sound wrong, but she writes a great guy. And even when she wrote a guy that was so unlikable and so gave me the heebie-jeebies, he was supposed to, she did such a great job. So this book, See-Through, is about Spencer, who's the rock star, and about Lane. Okay, love the name, by the way. So different. Love when I hear a different name that not everybody uses. Lane is a young journalist. She has recently gone through a breakup and went and applied for a job that she didn't think that she was really going to get, but she needs a job and she's just trying to do stuff until something lands. The book starts with her coming out of the interview and she's kind of beating herself up about it a little bit because she doesn't think she did very well. Spencer is an up-and-coming rock star. The book is at kind of really the beginning where his career is taking flight. He's becoming more well-known. He's in the tabloids a bit. He doesn't necessarily have a bad reputation, but he's definitely very flirty and very charismatic and enjoys his fans. So he kind of has this image a little bit. His manager, Daphne, wants to help his image. So she wants to hire someone to write an article about him. And, not to change his image, to get to know him a little bit better, which is interesting because he's very private and he has elements of his life that he does not share with anybody. And that was really something that plays into what the book becomes about. Turns out, as you can imagine, that Lane is the one that ends up getting hired to write his story. Spencer being a rock star is a big part of this story because it's a big part of him. But where I really felt like the strength and the meat of this story is in Spencer. I think it's easy for me as a female to find things in female characters that I connect with. So often I'm super judgy with the male characters and I need more from them. They need to prove themselves to me. That 9 times out of 10, I'm going to find something I like about the female characters that I read. I find myself wanting the male characters, I should say, to prove themselves to me. Spencer proved himself to me almost immediately. Lane, I understood, I connected with within the first chapter of the book. Spencer was that fast for me as well, and usually it takes me a little bit. I need to learn about them and the writing style of the author, and Spencer I don't know what it was. It was just him. I got him immediately. Like I said, Spencer is very private and he feels like, although he understands why his manager wants the article written, that he's trying to walk this balance. And he's very charismatic guy. So it's like, he tries to almost disarm people with his friendliness. And I thought that was really interesting about him. So I wanted to know, what was he hiding? I knew it wasn't just him not wanting to share himself. I knew there was going to be more. I could feel that there was going to be more to his story. There's this push and pull with them in the beginning, and she has to travel. Lane has to travel with them. And there's, Spencer is like, okay, like, I don't want to let her in, and yet I want to let her in. They are obviously attracted to each other. They obviously have chemistry. So he's really kind of trying to figure out, like, how do I do this? I don't want to do this. How can I dance around this a little bit? But he couldn't help it, and he really liked her, and she has a way of disarming him. But it's interesting because they are feeling this angstiness. And at one point, Lane says that Spencer's chest rises and falls at the same time. And it's like, I could feel that in Brittany's words. It was kind of how he was feeling in that moment. His, like, rise and fall. And he has to acknowledge his feelings on a few different things, with Lane standing right in front of him, and this push and pull that they have. I adored the parts where they're getting to know each other. It felt very organic and really swoony and very sweet. And yet there is this edginess to it that I was waiting for the other shoe to fall in a lot of ways. And I didn't know, was that going to be, she was going to find out about something? Was that going to be, what was it going to be? And we knew, because he said it a few times, that he was holding things back. And he's like, I want to tell her and I want to let her in, but yet she's writing an article about me, but yet I like her. So how do I navigate that without everything that I tell her landing in this article? And I loved all of that. There was an extra special little tidbit that I adored, and that was that Spencer plays a show in Chicago. And that whole scene where it said so much about, well, first of all, I mean, it's Chicago, right? I mean, it's not a secret. This is where I'm from. I love Chicago. It's an amazing city, but it's a really special moment in the book, and it showed Spencer's true colors a lot when he plays the show and what he does, that I really loved. Something very interesting about this book, and I don't know how to really explain it except that. So the title is See-Through. So what does that mean, right? I always like to find how the title fits in books. So see-through. So what do you see through? Do you see through what somebody puts up in front of themselves as a wall, and you're able to see through that wall? Does somebody make themselves so open to you that you can see through them? So many ways you could interpret the title. I interpreted the title, and I picked this up all the way through, in my opinion, what I picked up on was, in a lot of Brittany's descriptions, she uses color. She talks about the blue of Spencer's eyes, the green of Lane's eyes, the red brick building, the colors in the hotel room or in the green room, the green room. There's a lot of ways in her descriptions where she brought color into it. And then yet Spencer was so private, and he wanted to leave this kind of veil between him and everybody else, because there was people he wanted to protect. There was things he was holding close to the vest. There was things that happened in his life that he didn't want people to know about, that he felt guilty about, that affected him and his family greatly, and didn't want that out in the world. But yet he lets Lane eventually see all that. I mean, they fall in love, right? It's a romance book. So the way Brittany brought color in and then had the title See-Through was really interesting to me and really well done. Brittany went the extra step with this book. Like I said, it's a rock star romance, and she worked with a artist that she knows, and there's a song called See Through. Isn't that amazing? It's on Spotify. If I can, I'm going to put a link below. If I can't put a link, then I'll put the name and the artist. I listened to it. It's perfect. I don't want to give too much away, but it does have part in this book, and I thought that was such a nice touch, that it's a rock star romance and that there's a song. I mean, right? Let me know if you have read Brittany's other books in the comments below. I highly recommend you read See Through. Like I said, it's her best book yet. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.